I'm still here with Nick Turner, Angel of Light, well, with his body, because Nick has vacated his physical body and we are in the presence of Lord Christ. And Lord Christ, in the previous video recording, was assisting me greatly in my meditation practice, and we were recording that not only for my benefit but for the benefit of others who choose to watch this series of videos. So there is an amazing opportunity for you to experience, and that is being guided in meditation directly by Lord Christ. And that's in the previous video. The camera memory became full, and we abbreviated that session a little bit. However, that's okay, and we've now cleared the memory of this camera, and Lord Christ has just indicated to me that we won't do more meditation in this particular afternoon. However, he is available to me for all of us for some question and answer and discussion with him. So, is there something that you would like to say?
Afternoon, everybody.
Yeshua for the those in the Eastern culture.
Yes. Afternoon. I am in this vessel known as Nicholas, the Angel of Light, as Ross has kindly pointed out. I have come into this vessel today to have a Q&A session with Ross Perry, because I haven't been able to come to the channeling sessions lately because I've been busy with other spiritual matters in other parts of the universe. So, whatever Ross wishes to talk about, I will answer to the best of his understanding. So,
thank you.
What is your first question?
Well, it's inviting your comment. I feel that spiritually, that our intents that accompany many of our actions are more important than the apparent failures or the results of those actions. Yet many of us judge ourselves severely and or become depressed and sometimes suicidal through misunderstanding aspects of this subject. There's a general area of discussion. Am I correct in what I say?
Yes, because you don't give enough time for your intent to come through into the physical world. You allow it to come through here,
yep,
but you don't allow it to resonate within the body and get pushed out of the body and start creating a proper peaceful reality for you. And therefore, if it doesn't come through straight away, you get upset and sad, and you chop and change your mind about it. And therefore, that's where this discord comes in, and then that creates a disconnection, and then that creates more of a separation between you and God and the universe, because you're not letting your intent physically come through. And what you've got to understand with your intent is you've got to let it build up like a wave of energy and have that intent resonate through your body again and again, and that intent will create the physical reality that all of you want.
So this is not doing the physical work as such, it is a process of creation from within.
Yes. But then you've got to allow that intent to go out with the same thought, with that gentle thought, and then keep having that gentle thought with the same intent, and then allowing that intent to build that reality for you. Does that make sense?
It does make sense. I'd take this opportunity to bring it into very practical terms, using me and Giselle as examples, and the Mountain of Life Holistic Health Centre, and co-creating the Mountain of Life Holistic Health Centre. There are things that we're doing and there are things that we're not doing, obviously.
Yes, well, let's focus on the things that you are doing.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
You are currently working on yourself.
Yes.
Right?
Working on ourselves.
Yes.
Yes.
And when one works on themselves,
Yes.
they must look at all of themselves, warts and all.
Yes.
And you're clearing the undergrowth, basically.
Right, yes.
And with your intent, you are clearing the undergrowth and allowing all that you are to come in at a much higher frequency,
Yes.
astrally, metaphysically, and emotionally, and mentally. And therefore, you must bring all these aspects into yourself every single day for them to line up. And then, once they have lined up within the physical body, then the body is going to start pushing those feelings out. So therefore, they can start creating that healing retreat that you want. And therefore, you've got to follow your intent as it gets pushed out of the body and gets created in front of your eyes, and not have any hesitation to follow it. Do not put any doubt into it. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. The doubt issue that I've been experiencing, as you know, is how do I pay for this? That's the way it's been expressed to me, and this is this lack of abundance concept that we've been indoctrinated with.
Yes, but
So I'm clearing that.
let me ask you this. Have you asked for abundance from God or me to come into your vessel?
I think I have, but I'll certainly ask for it right now.
Then the way you ask is,
Yes.
you say to yourself, I know I'm abundant.
Yes.
Then you breathe. Then you do the circular breathing.
Right.
And allow that abundant feeling to resonate within your body. Because what everyone has to understand, and I want to make this crystal clear. So everyone, please open your hearts. Is you are your thoughts. So if you know that you are your thoughts, simply close your eyes and simply say to yourself, I know that I'm abundant. Then you let that feeling resonate through you and breathe it into your body in a circular motion, like I showed you how to on the previous video.
May I interrupt for 1 moment
Yes.
and just ask, were the blockages that have been cleared in the past day or so from me in my heart and solar plexus chakra, interfering with the flow of that abundance.
Yes, because you felt unworthy
Yes.
to accept physical energy from the universe because of your error. You feel it. If it doesn't come through your hard work,
Yeah.
you don't deserve it, which is a load of nonsense.
That is music to my ears.
Everyone deserves to be abundant. You've simply got to ask from it, for it, from the universe. And now we've told you how to be abundant. You must all put it into practice. Simply know that you are and breathe that into your body in a circular motion. You say, I know I am abundant, and breathe in circular motion. And allow the feeling of abundance to go deep within yourself. Does that make sense?
It makes sense at one level, and at another level I know that I am I'm in the process of experiencing it.
Yes.
So,
See, this is why the circular breathing is important, my friend, because it stops the egoic mind from interfering with the vessel. If people were to breathe in this circular motion, it will allow all your joy and all your creativity to flow within your vessel. And therefore, the connection with God and all of us, divine masters and the angels, would be a permanent one. You would not be going in and out of frequency. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Therefore, you would constantly be going into a deep state of physical oneness, and you would feel the physical divine universe touching you every single day. And it would...
And this is not just in the close your eyes meditation state, this is throughout the day.
Throughout the day.
Whenever your consciousness focuses on it, and can focus on it.
Well, your consciousness will always be focused on it because you will be consciously aware of it.
Yes.
Because you would be constantly breathing in that circular motion. Therefore, you would not be out of sync with Mother Nature or the Earth or the universe itself.
So I'm starting to, just the last 10 seconds I've been practicing circular breathing again while I'm talking to you and talking with you and listening with you.
And you would have started to feel that universal energy coming in and through your organs.
I'm feeling different. Yes.
See, once you make the connection cannot be broken. Does that make sense? No matter what you're doing or whether you are talking to someone that is completely asleep or on the path of enlightenment.
Excellent.
Let's continue.
Okay, well, earthbound spirits is another subject that I've been dealing with a lot over the last 4 or 5 years, and I realise that in the past 4 or 5 years I've had many apparently attached to me, and then
Yes.
I have read and watched the book, watched the film and read the book called Nossolar, and I also, just as background, I feel and sense dark or low vibrational energies at various sites that I've visited and lived in, and the valleys and so forth, and low energy, and these sites have often corresponded to where lots of people have been murdered, particularly Aboriginals, in our recent history. And I have had the experiences of attached earthbound spirits lowering my personal energy as well.
That's because you've allowed them to.
Yes.
Because you feel like, well, if they attach themselves to me, they must need help to cross over. And what it is, when you come across an earthbound spirit and you see them and feel them, you simply have to acknowledge that and say, please do not attach yourself to me, because if they attach to you, that it means they don't wish to go, because they have fears about meeting the God that is within them. And most earthbound spirits, as you call them, do not choose to leave this realm, because then they would have to take responsibility for the reality that they lived when they were physically alive. Therefore, they would have to look at how their choices have got them to that moment of their death. And some of them do not want to do that. But some of them do. They know they are passed over, but they do not want to move on. And when they see someone that has light, they immediately want to attach to that person, and therefore it allows them to continue on in this physical realm, and therefore they will not move on with their own journey. They will simply stay here and create mischief.
Okay. By my having my general vitality or chi being raised so much recently by Divine Source, and you, that higher vibrational frequency, will that still allow me to be attractive to attachment on these beings?
Only if you think about it. If you work on yourself, if you are constantly working on thyself, your frequency will not allow these beings to be attached.
That's what I was thinking. That was
to you.
That was my understanding. That is my understanding.
Yes.
Right. So
only when one works on themselves, you may see them, you may still have the experience of them, but they cannot attach to you because you are too bright for them.
Okay, now with just reviewing what I've been doing and writing about in the Dowsing from the Heart book, because this, maybe I need to review what I've written in that book, because I've spoken of my experiences up until now with the earthbound spirits and doing invocations where I've been welcoming those when I've recognised that I've had earthbound spirits attached to me. I've been basically saying hi, calling them into the light of love and gratitude, and blessing them with Ho'oponopono, and explaining to them that they've been trapped like ghosts on a parallel earth plane, and I don't want to misadvise or whatever. And then I've been suggesting that it's now time that they've got an opportunity to look into the light and start moving into it. And
then you have done them a great service.
Yes.
Because you've given them the choice whether to stay or go.
Yes, I do give them the choice. It's an opportunity.
Yes. And that's all you can do.
Right.
Is give them the choice, but don't give them the choice to stay attached to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why we say, well, I say raise your frequency.
Yeah.
Because when you raise your frequency, you are creating a channel of light for the earthbound spirit to see, and they will feel comfortable to go home.
Have I don't know if this is coming from ego or academic or whatever, but anyway, there have been some locations that I've visited where I've felt that there are hundreds, if not thousands, of earthbound spirits present, and I've invited them to come into the light of love and gratitude, not to attach to me as such, but to come into the light of love and gratitude,
and leave and let the space be cleansed. And because you've done that, quite a few of them have left.
I have left.
Have left.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you've done a great service.
Thank you for. Well, I really appreciate this opportunity to have that confirmed, because the last thing I want to be is to be delusional or whatever, or working under false pretenses or misapprehensions.
Like I said, we do not come in this vessel to give you illusion. We come in this vessel to give people truth.
Yeah. Yes, but I didn't want to be also a source. I want to give people truth equally. And,
Yes.
and I don't want to be teaching anything that is inappropriate or passing on false concepts.
Well, these videos will be teaching you what is truth and what is not truth.
Your divine source have told us that we left the third dimension about 3 to 4 years ago and are progressing through the fourth dimension into the fifth.
Yes, that is correct.
I suspect that I have a series of associates, including Nick, of course, that are moving at will between the fifth and the higher dimensions of reality. Nick and Rachel. I also suspect, from what I've been told in channel by John of Light and others, that by another embodiment of love, not Nick, or the temple of another body of love, that I have been admitted to at least one interdimensional council, and that I also am in contact with members of other races from other star systems. I suspect that this applies to many of us, currently
Yes.
incarnated at this time. And and I also suspect that many of the younger generations here on Earth now and being born at this time are already vibrating at high fifth dimensional frequencies and above.
That is correct.
So
Yes.
have to yeah. I'll just your comments on those comments, please.
Well, you have always been fifth dimensional beings. You've just forgotten about it. Anyway, you're in the process of remembering. You're in the process of allowing more and more physical energy to resonate within yourself. And there's always been higher beings coming to the earth to uplift one's consciousness, to uplift collective consciousness. Except you go through periods of forgetting. At this present moment, you no longer want to forget. You were experiencing an awakening, which means you're calling your God self in. You were starting to speak to the inner God within you. So all dimensions are being reopened to you. They've never been closed. They have just been out of your sight.
Failed is the word we commonly use.
But the veil is very thin now. But for some people it's never been there. And for those people that's never been there, those are the ones you really got to listen to.
And Nick Turner, when he's embodied in this body that we can see,
Yes.
one such person.
Yes. And I say that without hesitation.
Yes, I know.
Because Nicholas always give people the absolute truth, whether they like it or not. He sits in God's energy every single day. He feels God's energy flow through every part of his body. And he allows us to come through in any moment we wish. That is why I'm having a communication with you right now. It was his intention only to help you with meditation instruction today. And I said, no, I want to come in. So he just gladly hopped out of the way and said, well, you can look after my body for the day. So we are now having a communication where you can get all your questions answered at once. But if you had your way, we would be here for hours and hours and hours, because you would constantly have questions for me.
Yes, there's lots of questions, and some of the questions
But yes,
for all of humanity as well.
but you have been
I understand.
invited to other one-dimensional council.
Yeah.
You've been on. You've been given a chair. And you've been allowed to witness how a dimensional council works. And what a dimensional council is the higher races discuss with you in mind on how best to wake up humanity very gently. And then they go about doing it. Then they look at who is awake and who's ready for the next download of information as such. And that's how an interdimensional council works. There's many interdimensional councils going on at many frequencies. And if you were to tune into your circular diaphragm breathing, everyone would be able to physically feel these councils working for the benefit of the universe. Because if they cause one individual to be awake, that has a flow-on effect. That individual causes a group to be awake, and so on and so on.
The ripple spreading out.
Yes.
Ripple of vibration. Yeah.
And the ripple does not stop. Just because you cannot see it, it doesn't mean it stops. It just continues on and on. Therefore, it resonates through every dimension that you are. And there are higher children on the earth who have a even greater understanding of universal matters. And as humanity wakes up more and more, they will introduce themselves to you, because you'll be resonating at their frequency. And they will show themselves, because it will be safe for them to show themselves. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Yeah.
So keep raising your vibration, and you will see everything that I said.
Related to that is the concept that some of us have of avatars, and
Yes.
I think of course of my experiences with Sri Sathya Sai Baba, and I think now of Prema Sai having, I believe, incarnated. What is the accuracy of our concept of avatars in relation to all this?
Avatars do exist.
They do exist?
Yes.
Right.
But they exist not only on the physical plane, but they must be constantly in a higher state of physical existence because they can feel the energy of the universe coursing through them. They can hear God's thoughts. They can feel God's feelings. And they are truly an instrument of God's divine will. They are put into physical planes of existence to show everybody else what is possible. And they are also put into physical reality to show you how to gather all your energy and use it in your physical existence. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
And they are the embodiment of masterhood.
Of masterhood.
That's what avatars are. They are just masters. Does that make sense?
Yes. So how does that differ from angels and archangels?
Well,
Why are they embodiments of, so a master and an archangel or an angel?
An angel is pure energy, right?
Yep.
But an angel will work with you on one. They will work on every energetic level that you can imagine, that you can feel.
Yep.
An avatar has mastered to bring all that energy that they are into the physical world for a short amount of time. And once they've shown people how to become that energy, then they choose to either leave because they've done their duty.
Yes.
An angel will still show you how to utilize the physical energy, but they will not leave you. And that avatar will not lose their physical form. They will just change their physical form into a higher frequency. An angel does not change their form. An angel can simply go from one frequency to another without even blinking an eyelid. An archangel they can manifest themselves on every single level. They can manifest the physical body and to walk around and observe things but they always have the current of God flowing within them, like an avatar does. An archangel's job is is to deliver messages for the humanity. So they will gather all their physical energy to appear to someone. And so that's why you have references when someone says lives in an angel. What they've done is that angel has got all their physical energy to come to one point in their existence. Therefore, they will make that person feel their presence or see their presence. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And therefore, they will deliver the message and dissolve back into their proper frequency. Even though every frequency that they exist on. You've just got to train your eyes to see every frequency. And that's all.
All right. Well, can we discuss that point, please? Training our eyes to see frequencies, because I've read the books Hands of Light and Light Emerging by Barbara Ann Brennan, and from those, doing the exercises in those, starting to do the exercise in those books, I've learned to see under certain circumstances some of the auric field around my hands and sometimes
Yes.
around bodies, but it's only slight, and I don't practice it all the time. Many people won't be familiar with those books, so can we start from scratch, please?
Those books talk about a lot of metaphysical concepts. And those metaphysical concepts only come when you are doing physical meditation, when you are feeling the physical flow of the universe through your body. Because when you feel the physical flow of the universe through your vessel, your organs will resonate with the frequency, and you will start to see your own aura. Because your organs are resonating with your own aura, because you're becoming more and more physical light on earth, and your eyes will be able to pick up on many more realities, and you'll be able to see the beings that inhabit those realities if you practice much more physical meditation and allow the physical flow of the divine universe through your physical body. And therefore, nothing will be off limits to you.
Okay, so I understand that Nick has many of these abilities in this lifetime.
Yes, he
And
does.
as a medical intuitive, you can also see into organs and
Yes.
like get an X-ray vision. Like if he wants to, if he needs to, he can have the equivalent of an equivalent of an X-ray of the person's.
Yes,
Is that correct?
that is correct.
Right. So these things are possible.
Oh, they're more than possible. They're God-given gifts.
Right.
You've just got to, it's like, how should I put it for the audience at home? It's like, if you don't use it, you don't know it's there.
Yes. Well, I think that's why I'm asking a lot of these questions, because
When you use the abilities that are within your own soul,
yes.
then they come to the forefront of your vessel.
Yes.
and therefore they become an extension of oneself. And when I was alive, millennia ago, I could lay my hands on anybody and see the current of energy, of divine energy flowing through the organs, and I could direct my divine energy to the organ or to the limbs that were affected. And I could feel myself going into all the affected organs or the limbs. But there was no separation. So I was healing myself in another version of myself.
Yep.
And that's what Nicholas is doing when he's doing what you call psychic surgery.
So the friend that we have that he's been working on for the last month or so is still, that's what he's doing.
Yes. And you are referring to Mick Jobby.
I am indeed.
Yes. What he is doing, what Nicholas is doing when he's healing your friend Mick, is literally going into his cells and going into his organs and filling them up with energy, and then making sure the limbs are working correctly, making sure the voice box is starting to work correctly, and so he gets his speech back and everything like that. He does it over and over again.
Is it appropriate just now to just make a comment as to why he needed healing?
It is not appropriate, but we have touched on the subject, and that's all that I'm allowed to say.
That's fine. That's fine. That's why I asked. I didn't expect you to name him.
Well,
I think it's lovely that you have. I think that he is very privileged to be named from my perspective.
We are being candid here, are we not?
We are indeed. We're being very candid, and that's one of the joys of this experience, because it's real, and we're speaking on very practical terms. So I'm thinking beyond. Part of me is, an aspect of me is thinking beyond veterinary science, where I'm expected as a veterinary surgeon to take x-rays and to do all sorts of pathology tests by the current organisation, the current...
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
And you want to have the ability that Nicholas does, and
yes.
so you can see into the animal, so you don't have to use the machinery.
Yes, because I feel that the machinery, so much of the procedures that we are doing in veterinary science and medicine are either invasive and or harmful and or unnecessary when we have these abilities.
Yes, but what you've got to realize is Nicholas, I'm just treating Nicholas as an example, has sat in physical meditation most of his life and accessed his abilities over and over again. And Nicholas has been awake since he was 2 years old to enable him to hear our thoughts, to hear our collective voice. It is
I understand I think I understand what
possible
you're saying. Yeah, yes.
for anyone to have these abilities, but they must be willing to let go of the underbrush of the garden and be willing to clear out the garden and let a new garden grow within them and allow the physical energy of the universe to come into them every single day. This is what it means to have these abilities. Allow the universe to work with you. Allow it to become one with you. Allow it to flow through you every single day. And do not be afraid of what it makes you feel and say and do. And if you can allow it to be that within you, then your abilities will come to the forefront. The reason they're so prevalent in Nicholas is because he works on himself every single day. He allows himself to consciously and continuously grow. He allows himself to become one with the divine source. He allows the source self to sit within him and around him. He allows the source self to flow through his organs. And he allows me or any other master or God to come in and speak their mind. So therefore, we are quite humbled in this process. But
Very much.
only when you allow us to work with you will the universe within you allow you to start to feel your abilities.
Hello. Hi Nick, it's Christine.
We're in session, darling.
Oh, sorry.
It's all right. You're speaking to Lord Christ, actually.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, rightio. So Nick's channeling and
Yes.
and Rachel's having a massage at the moment. So
Oh, okay. So do you want me to come back later, Nick, or what do you want me to do?
No, it's all right.
Oh.
So yes.
right.
So when you will allow these abilities to come to the forefront,
Yeah.
then you will feel the flow of the universe through you constantly, every single day. And you will not be afraid of it, because then you will feel God's energy coming through you every moment. And you'll be able to stand up and speak your truth. Speak your divine energy. And you will be a shining example for everyone to see. Does that make sense?
It does. It's very inspiring. It's very encouraging. It affirms my decision to embrace this twice daily meditation and
Yeah.
and throughout, and if I needed any more incentive to do so, well, then this is another incentive for continuing and expanding this process, but also for humanity, for all those of us who feel the calling.
Everyone will feel the calling eventually, Ross. It does not matter, my friend.
Yeah.
What is going to happen in a very short space of time? A lot of people will wake up and realize here is truth, and they must follow it. They must see it for what it is. And we have put a lot of truth out there.
Yes, indeed.
But people must make their own decisions with the heart. They cannot make the decision with the egoic mind.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Sure does. Yeah. Yes.
Because when you make your decisions with your egoic mind, you are disconnecting yourself from your true divine essence of God. And through my years of teaching and guiding and walking my own paths, what I have realized in all my millennia is that you can show people the way, but they must be willing to experience. So I keep showing them the way, and I keep giving them the experience, but they must be willing to walk through the doors with me. Let's continue.
Okay. Well, two questions that are personal questions.
Yes.
When I say personal, would you classify yourself as an avatar in the time that you appeared on earth as Lord Christ?
I would classify myself as the embodiment of God.
The embodiment of God.
Yes.
What's the difference?
The embodiment of God means that I understood how God worked. There was no separation between me or God. I felt the divine presence always within my body. I always knew the right course of action to take.
Yep.
I knew people were only playing roles, so I could step outside of that role whenever I wanted to see things clearly from a divine point of view. And when I stepped out of that role, I saw things as God would see them. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Yep.
So therefore, I knew what action to take at all moments.
So, my understanding is, has in your lifetime physically incarnated as Lord Christ,
Yes.
as a child, you travelled to Egypt and then to France and then to Glastonbury and Jacob's Well and then to Ireland and back, etc. And particularly to Joseph of Arimathea had asked you to go on this journey, or asked your father to take you on this journey to educate you and to broaden your experience with wise people in Ireland, etc. If you already had this knowingness, why did you need to go on that journey?
Why did I need to go on that journey?
Yeah.
It's because to access that knowing, to make myself have the experience of it. I knew of it, but I still wanted to have the experience of it. Does that make sense?
It does.
The thing is, you might know something, but sometimes to truly know it, you must experience it.
Yeah, that's very, very significant. And yeah, until you've experienced something, you don't truly know. In this reality, at least.
In all realities, you must experience. You must experience stuff before you truly know it. Then you can pass on the experience to another soul. Does that make sense?
It does, and yet that experience, at least in this reality, is moulded by our perceptions, and it's moulded by previous experiences, so that the interpretation we give to the experience is we colour the experience.
Yes, because you don't. The reason you colour the experience is because you don't let it fully play out in its entirety. You don't let it fully play out with all of its solutions in the detail. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Yep.
And you always have a narrow.
Oh, okay.
You always have you always give yourself a narrow experience. If you let things play out in its entirety, then you will see the multiple solutions in front of you. Does that make sense?
So, in practical terms, what are you suggesting that we do to get this bigger picture, to experience this bigger picture?
Meditate.
I should have guessed.
Meditate. Bring the physical universe into your vessel. Widen your physical body.
350. And
Does that make sense?
Yep.
Allow the energy that you are to come through yourself and allow the experience to resonate within you. Does that make sense? Therefore, then you will know the truth of the matter. Then you will know the experience undeniably. Does that make sense?
It makes sense. I now need to experience it.
Yeah.
So, hence the journey looks very exciting, and
Well,
yeah, what a lifetime, what an amazing lifetime that we're having. Well, I'm having,
Yes,
and
but-
we are all having.
you've given yourself great tools now.
Yeah.
But what you are required to do is put them into practice.
I feel much better about it.
I take this as a serious student, you know, but I take it with lightheartedness as well.
Oh, take it as both,
Yeah, as both.
because I come through
Yeah,
this vessel
yeah,
in a lighthearted mood.
yeah.
Because if people see that masters are reachable, they will connect them. And if they see that we've got a sense of humour, they will be more inclined to be open up to the
Yeah.
universe.
Yeah.
This is what this video is teaching.
Well,
Is
that bridges to another subject that may or may not be relevant to this afternoon, and that is that so many of us, over so many in different religions and so forth, have been taught of heaven and hell, and we've had fear put into us, and we've been told of this fire and brimstone God that's full of judgment and etc., etc. And that has not been my experiences in this lifetime at all. But I've been had that indoctrination, and I have rejected it from my heart because it does not feel like it is coming from love at all.
no,
And
it's coming from a form of control.
that's what my feeling is. So this is still being propagated in many different faiths, or by the so-called leaders of many different faiths.
Yes.
And perhaps I would be very grateful for all of humanity for you to speak on this subject and to expand on the nature of God in this respect.
The nature of God is this. God is loving. The energy of the divine source is constantly and consciously loving. It will always give itself a moment to understand itself.
Yep. I'm just going to check that you're still on camera when you're up high.
Sorry, I'm just getting the body comfortable. For
Yeah, no. I just wanted to make sure we weren't chopping your head off, so to speak. I wouldn't like to do that, Lord Christ.
Neither would I. The energy of the divine source will always give itself a moment to realise that it's loving. It always comes from a loving moment. It'll always give itself
So I can go like that, which is good.
a lesson in love to express its highest truth of who it is and what it is. It will call all of itself
but it just won't do certain things.
into love. It will allow itself to experience
But no one,
its
I've never had
peacefulness.
it looked at by a doctor or anything.
It will give itself tools to remind itself that it is truth. Am I making it clear for you?
So some of those tools are the tools of duality, is that right?
Yes.
Probably 70 years.
So that explains aspects of this reality that we're particularly the third dimension, but maybe the fifth dimension. I'm learning about that now, or remembering about that now. But duality is basically a tool for God to experience the love.
Yes. The love of oneself.
And judgment versus discernment. We've been told in religion that God is a judgmental God and hell and damnation, etc.
Hell and damnation don't exist. Hell and damnation do not exist.
Hallelujah.
Judgment does not exist in
Hallelujah.
God's eyes. Judgment exists only in the soul. Does that make sense?
It does indeed, and that has been a huge lesson for me. You know, one of my favourite quotes is, which may be one of the truths that remain in the Bible. I'm being a little bit facetious, and that is, judge not lest ye be judged. And of course, the way it's been taught by the priests is that applies to judge others lest ye be judged. However, the real truth, I think, is judge not yourself lest ye be judged.
Yes, exactly.
And is that correct?
That is correct.
Right.
You must remember that if you judge another, you are only judging yourself. You are only judging your own insecurity. By you judging yourself, you are judging your divine essence away. You are pushing everything that God is away from you. So, having judgment does not serve yourself. You are all God. You are literally when God says you are created in God's image, God is not telling you whatever lie. You are literally being created, were created, and are being gods on earth. Except you've got to know it within yourself. And that's why Joseph of Arimathea wanted me to go and have these experiences so I may remember the God within myself as a young boy. And by doing that, the divine current was able to be sparked within me. And therefore, I was enabled to become the living embodiment of God. Does that make sense?
It does indeed. It does indeed. There are many other aspects of the manufactured history of your life that I'd like to discuss, but perhaps these can be for future recordings.
Yes.
Because I think so many, my inner feelings about so much of what we've been told about you and your teachings have been altered such that they
have been altered to serve the priesthood.
yes.
They have been manipulated because the people in so-called power
Yep.
wanted them that way.
Yep.
But if you connect with thyself in meditation,
Yep.
you will get a conscious download of who I am. And now that you have felt how to properly connect with thyself,
Yes.
you will not lose that connection.
Thank you.
Does that make sense?
Yes. And for that I'm very, very grateful.
Next question.
Okay, another question that many of us asked about Sai Baba, for example, and many must not must, but many will probably be asking about Nicholas, is that if he is who he claims to be, and why hasn't he healed himself?
He's not allowed to. It is against his truth.
I don't understand that, but
What I'm saying is, there is no reason for his body to be healed, because there is nothing wrong with it. If he was to get up and walk around,
yeah.
all his abilities would be reset.
His ability would be reset.
Yes.
I don't understand that.
His abilities would be reset, but he would have to remaster them.
Right.
Good.
Right.
Because his body was designed to sit by God. He was designed, his body was designed to be a healing body. His body was designed to channel for us. His body was designed to have multiple channels at once. If he was walking, he would not be able to feel the flow of divine essence through him, because he would be getting distracted by physical life.
Yes, right.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does, and it's very helpful. Very helpful.
He does not need to be healed,
Yes. Right.
because there is nothing physically wrong with his body. He is made an agreement with the universe
Yeah.
to become a living embodiment of God's love and God's light in this way. Yes, if he got up and walked, everyone would be saying, hallelujah, there's a miracle. That's because you don't see him like we do. You see him as a broken body.
Yes, so this is the colouring of our perceptions that I was referring to earlier, and I knew I'd like to ask this question, and I asked that one also because I realised that my perceptions, particularly as a vet, have been coloured and indoctrinated so much that I have to be very, very careful to question everything that I've been taught.
Yeah.
I did have that set for the last time.
Nicholas has been given this body so he can see and feel in two other physical dimensions. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does indeed. Yeah.
And yes, he could do this same again if his body was to be so-called healed. But it would take him another 20 years for him to master the energy, because he would feel it differently. He would get distracted by outside influences.
Yeah.
So
I know a little bit about those.
yes. So therefore, he does not require the body to be healed. Next body will have another one, thank you.
Excellent.
Does that,
Yeah, no, that's very, very helpful, and I think in the overall, in the big scheme of things, it's essential information in the play.
what everyone has to really get is we put certain healers in certain bodies to bring certain amounts of physical dimensional truth for you to hear and witness. And this vessel, known as Nicholas Allen, has allowed the universe to come through, and these videos are to teach all of humanity about how the universe uses what you call disabled people
Yes.
as teaching tools
Yes.
to dispel any prejudice or any misconception that they are broken.
Yeah.
People that have physical disabilities from birth understand God more greatly than people that can walk in the Western world, because they've chosen to go within themselves at a much earlier age.
Okay.
And he allows us to come through uncensored, completely uncensored. So that's all I will say about the lovely Nicholas for now.
Okay.
What is your next question?
Well, continuing on from that, and it seems a change in topic, but there is a massive increase, so we're told, in the statistics of autism and so forth, and a lot of that is being attributed out of mainstream to adverse effects from vaccination. And,
Yes.
And therefore, if we can discuss this aspect of so-called preventative medicine that is rife at the moment, or very, very prevalent, and there's huge pressure on people, compulsion for people to be vaccinated or to have their children vaccinated, despite and to be given combinations of vaccines that one might question.
Yes.
And there seems to be a lot of misunderstanding, perhaps on both sides of the spectrum, about the effects of the vaccinations and the benefits of the vaccinations and the adverse effects of the vaccinations. So, and then I'd like to lead on from that as to what are the, I'm aware of some alternatives to vaccinations. There are options for people who choose not to have vaccinations if their child or if they themselves experience a particular infection. So that's another extension of that topic, but let's start at the beginning.
Oh. The vaccination of autism. I love this area. There is no right or wrong way to put this. There is no thing that God does not. No, thank you, Giselle. And if
Yep.
a soul
Very much.
chooses to come into this life and have a physical experience with a disability, and the mother or the father chooses for the child to have the vaccination so it may stave off
What do
autism.
you put you up inside now?
That is up to them. But there is no,
Well, I'm not talking so much about staving off autism. That seems to be an adverse effect. They're staving off other diseases.
yes, but there is no disease that needs staving off. It's part of the soul journey.
Right, well this is highly relevant and
Yes.
can you explain that in detail, because many of us don't understand that.
What I'm referring to is everything that you've asked for, down to the finite detail, has already been agreed to in the heavenly realms over 26 billion years ago.
B,
Billion,
right.
right? You are simply playing out all of your experiences. And when someone chooses to come into this realm of what I call physicality, they have come with a soul plan and a soul journey to help them grow as an individual and further their physical growth as a soul. So when someone has come to have an experience, they choose their parents, they choose everything that's going to happen to them, diseases.
So they have foreknowledge
Yes.
that if they are vaccinated, some of them are likely to have these so-called adverse reactions,
Yes,
and some of
But
them are
it-
likely to die.
yes, but it's not adverse reaction for their soul.
Yeah.
It's what they've chosen to experience.
And the family has chosen to experience the heartache as well.
Except they do not remember it. Because when you are born, you go through a period of forgetting.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
But if you're awake, you know. So you can still have the experience, but you've made peace with it.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
It does. It does.
Right.
Right. And I'm just aware that, again, going back to our so-called teachers in inverted commas, in the way of teachers, in the way of priests, in the way of various religious title leaders, how particularly in Christianity, in inverted
Yes.
commas, belief in reincarnation has been, to the best of those leaders' abilities, excluded, such that we only have one life. You're aware of this misrepresentation of the truth.
Yes, yes, yes.
Would you please, we've spoken about it so many times, just as you and I understand that life is different from that proper.
You have, let me say this to everyone that's in YouTube land and beyond. You have multiple lives playing out in multiple realities at once.
At once, yep.
You are just focused on this one at this moment. If you were to relax your focus, you would see yourself having a multitude of lives in the present and the future and the dimensional self. But if you were to relax your focus, again, you would simply be able to put yourself into a meditative state and go and have any physical experience. Nothing is off limits if you are created in God's image.
Does this relate a lot to our dreams as well?
Every. And as I've said, you're all created in God's image, right down to every molecule, right? You've just got to learn to access all of yourself and then go off and have those experiences. Does that make sense?
It makes a lot of sense.
Therefore, you will, if you practice what I've said,
Yep.
then you will have these experiences
Yep.
and you will be able to bring back the knowledge from the next body into this one.
Yep. So, putting things bluntly, as I'm prone to do too,
I wouldn't have it any other way.
thank you. This common teaching in Christianity is simply a tool for control of the congregation and to
Christianity today, Christianity today is more controlled than it was centuries ago.
That's saying a lot.
Yes, and that's all I will say about it.
I'd like to say a lot more, but and I was brought up by a fire and brimstone Canon Stewart at Roseville.
And how did it work out for you?
Well, I tried to believe, but I kept getting these messages. This is not right when he was saying that if you weren't a Canon Stewart follower, then if you believed in, if you were to associate with a Catholic, you would go to hell, and if you didn't believe in his teachings of Lord Christ,
Then it
you would go to hell.
then it made you disconnect from the light that's within you.
Yes, for a while.
Yes.
For a while, and I became very, very judgmental, extremely judgmental, because that was my teachings were all based on judgment when I was during those young formative periods.
Yes.
And yet,
And teaching based on judgments only cause more judgment, and they create more disconnection and more disassociation from the truth of who you are.
so that has been a major part of my younger journey, and I'm now able to look at it through with different perceptions, and be grateful for those perceptions, in that I can now relate with other people much more easily that are still in that thing, because I have empathy. It's given me the power, or developed my sense of empathy with humanity, having had so many of the experiences that I've had.
You're being very
Exactly. And because of that empathy, you are able to grow within yourself. But you're able to see a wider point of view.
Yes, very much so.
And because of that empathy, you are here discussing these things with me, even though I'm coming to another people. And without that empathy, you would not have chosen the life that you have. See, all your experiences have brought you to this. Have brought you to this moment.
And I say thank you.
You're welcome. Now, have you got any more questions? Because the body is starting to get very, very tired.
Well, I'm very confident we will have the opportunity to have more experiences like this to share together. So I'm very happy to thank those who wish to watch these series of videos and to experience them. I thank you for being part of an audience, a global audience with which we're both intimately connected, and over the months and years ahead, this will become an experience.
Before I go, I would say this video has been the most frank discussion that you've had with myself
Yes.
and the universe.
Yep. So, what would you like to title these recordings today?
Living in love and truth.
Living
In love and truth.
With Lord Christ or not with Lord Christ?
With Lord Christ.
With Lord Christ? I think that adds to it with Lord Christ.
I don't think she'd come back through again. That was
All right.
she was such to me. She was a
And what about the meditation? The previous recording, what title would you like that?
she was just a public thing, so I don't know whether she actually
Bringing the physical universe into your experience. As that first
I'd
title.
like her to come through for sure, but I know she's with me.
Multiverse.
I feel her and I think it's will be
If you want to put it like that, then put it like that.
Yeah, well, sometimes it's crazy, but no data.
Okay. Excellent.
Sorry.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'd give you a hug if I could, but we'll give it from a distance, and I'll say
It has been my absolute pleasure to come through
thank you.
for the audience and for yourself.
Thank you.
So I will say goodbye to everybody.
Oh, goodbye, Lord Christ.
Lord Christ, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Yes. And when I got older and that, we went through people for 6 weeks. We ended up being a bit longer. But we were wrong.
Hello, my friend.
Hello, Nick.
Hello, everybody.
Nick is back. Nick is back. And I hope you had wonderful adventures while you've been out of body.
I went
How are you with that?
I went to the Akashic Records and had a look at a few things.
What a beautiful experience is that.
3 lifetimes in a row.
So,
And
Second confirmation.
then I went,
She's the huge one.
then I went and saw one of my guides and did a healing with them on a race that needed some healing. So that's what I've been doing for the last couple of hours.
right, so when you say you went to another race, you did some healing on another race. So this is the mass of the mass of those beings. It was like a group healing
Yes.
with one of your guides. So you have guides as well.
Yes, I have about 40,000 guides. That's because I work at a very high dimensional level. And so, because Christ was able to come in today,
Yes.
and because I know He's of pure light and love,
Yep.
like all the people I work with are,
Yes.
I was able to leave my vessel in His capable energy, so to speak,
Yes. Yep.
and go off and do my own universal work. And so therefore I went and did some healing on a dimensional level with a race that is in another dimension.
Is this in another star system as well, or another galaxy, or just another vibrational frequency?
In another galaxy and in another frequency.
Wonderful stuff. Wonderful.
So that's what I've been doing while my vessel has been chilling. So we will see you all next time.
Indeed. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Blessings. And I know I'm receiving them as well. Not with the hands up.
Yes.
And thank you and blessings to all of us. Turn off the video and keep coming back for more recordings and more experiences. Please.
Wait for
Wants help in either way.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.